You have some questions about your pediatrician's recommendations to move your little girl out of the crib once she's 34 inches tall. And basically, this is a good rule of thumb for most families, because the concern is that once the child gets tall enough, then they can topple out of the crib. How often do you walk into your child's room and you see them standing up and holding onto the bars? And of course, what you don't want is for them to fall out and get hurt. So there's the matter of how tall they are. Of course, you always want to set the crib at the lowest setting so that when they stand up, they're not too far over the rail. But when they're tall enough, they're automatically just going to tip out, and they're top heavy. So that is a valid concern. There are a few other things to think about, though. Sometimes it's just the sheer will of the child to get out of the crib. It doesn't matter how tall they are. So if you have a child that's starting to climb out of the crib sooner rather than later, whether they're too tall for the crib or not, then it's time to start thinking about a toddler bed. For example, I kept my daughter in her crib till she was 3 because she was perfectly content and we didn't have any issues. She never tried crawling out. But then when I had my son, when he was 14 months old, he tried to crawl out, and he did, and he fell and hurt his head. So we were like, it's time for a toddler bed. But of course, there are a host of other complications that come with getting a toddler bed. So you also need to think about the maturity of your child. Number one is safety. But then once you get them a toddler bed, then do understand that there's nothing keeping them confined to that space. And so they're going to get out at night. And that can also pose a risk to them if there's stairs next to their bed and it's dark at night. Are they potty trained or are they not? Are there reasons for them to get out of the bed at night? And then if they come into your room and want to get in bed with you, then you just walk them back to their room and remind them that their bed is where they sleep. So again, it kind of opens a can of worms, but those issues are definitely doable, and the number one priority is always your child's safety. If you have more questions for me in the future, please feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.